Alright, good morning, everyone. We are here, public stream once again. I'm here watching the tape. I believe we have red folder news at 10 a.m., so that's what I'm waiting for here. More specifically, 9:50 to 10:10. I like how we're wicking off of this, the low end of this daily fair value gap here. That's what this red shaded area is. And we're also trading into this order block, these two up close candles. So I'll just have that line there. And then we are at previous Sunday's 9:30 opening range. So you always use the 3 days prior, so I want to see us wick off of that as well. Not going to have it on my chart though, just another add-on. So once again, waiting for 10 a.m. news. Not going to be all excited to push a button too quickly. So NASDAQ going down in this 15-minute gap. Now to me, just looking at the chart right away, if I were to just come in, I would say that this looks ideal for us to trade down into here. I'm going to take this away. For us to trade down in this inefficiency here below Tuesday's lows here. ES already did that. Didn't do it yet on NASDAQ. And then we also have previous day's low matched with today's intraday low. So these clean lows here. We're above the opening price here. We swept buy side. And pretty much same thing with ES, except we already traded down to this target here. Now, I'm ready to be wrong though. I'm not marrying a bias here today. It's Friday after an eventful week. Very nice sell off here Thursday, sorry. You see now the average speculator will probably come in and take this high to low and then go short somewhere right here. They'll be like, oh, that's that breaker. Then you go short right here. But you got to understand the context. So if it's a Friday and you have this 5-minute time frame here wicking back and forth like this, it's a Friday. Both sides have been swept here and here. You got to wait for that opening range to be set in place with those type of scenarios. You can't just go right into the opening and, you know. Good morning, Shane. Morning, Duke. Henry. Good morning, guys. Go ahead and run that like button up for me. We got 30 viewers and 3 likes. That is disgraceful. Now, once again, I'm going to remind you guys that we have 10 a.m. red folder news. So I'm waiting for that. I do want to see if I can get some type of setup to the short side. But once again, I'm prepared to be wrong. And I say that just because of the current narrative that we're within on a Friday. Notice I don't come into these streams, you know, with the idea in mind that I have to come in here and be right or wrong. My goal here isn't to be right or wrong, it's to make money. So that's why I wait for certain signatures to tip their hand to me, and I wait for certain times. And yeah, it's all about patience and knowing when to pick your shots and when not to. It's definitely a common fault, though. Everyone thinks that just comes in and thinks that they're so worried about being right or wrong, and their ego doesn't allow them to switch their bias once they realize they are wrong. They're like, oh shit, well, it's not going in the direction I thought it was. Let me just short, even though I thought it was going, even though it's going up. Van Taylor, how do I get access to the Discord? So on a laptop or on uh, a web browser or whatever, just go to my YouTube channel here and hit the join button, and then you can click on the inner circle, and then once you join that, you'll have access to daily live signals, private live streams, and private mentorship videos all in one. So yeah, another thing I'm interested in, I'm not gonna long this here, and I'm not gonna long in a deep premium. That's stupid. So ES just blew out this high, NASDAQ not having it so far. Dow, okay, Dow just completely shot up right at the opening. Let's see where Dow's at. Okay, yeah, this is definitely a little problematic. Dow is almost the whole way up at Thursday's high now, after we traded to that discount array here. I don't know why I'm on the micros here. I do trade the micros sometimes. It's not always a bad thing. Yeah, Dow just so much speed the way up to this very high end of this gap here. Look how it stopped dead in its tracks though. So ES blew out that 930 initial 930 high, and we're failing to do so here on NQ. Now now that we're down here, I want to see if we respect the midpoint of this order block right now, or do we just trade straight through it? Now, right now, it'd be more ideal if we just have a time distortion type of scenario here, where it just kind of stalls until that 10 a.m. red folder news. So that's kind of what I want to happen here. Go ahead and hit up that like button for me then. Appreciate it. Alright, so we have this order block here. There we go. So we traded that. Midpoint of the order block here. So do we continue to respect it and go into a new high and have like a 3 drives type of thing here? Or do we just trade right below it? These two initial lows here look a little too clean for me, personally, right here. And then below those lows we have this 15-minute gap. So yeah, boom, we're disregarding that order block. SMT right here. Now I'm outlining these things, but notice I'm not pushing any buttons. That's because I'm waiting until the 10 a.m. news. So a little bit of institutional order flow to the downside here. So we traded below this up close candle, dug up into it, respected it, traded down again, came back up to these 2 up close candles, traded off, and then now you would want to see it disregard opposing down close candles, which so far it's kind of showing a little bit of support here. So let's see, right at that midpoint. Van Taylor, can't see inner circle option. No, already have paid membership. Oh, so yeah, you're already. So I believe you have to go in and upgrade. Do like an upgrade type of thing to the inner circle, and I think it'll automatically end. The trading family subscription. So yeah, there's definitely, just go to the join, and there's definitely a way you can get into the inner circle. So obviously I'm streaming, so I can't go ahead and figure that out right now. So anyway, back to the charts. See the respect to this, the midpoint of the order block. Now I can outline this real time, but I'm not going to trade it yet. So we're entering that macro. What time is it? 9:50. And I'm going to take this off. So notice what happened here. We respected the midpoint of this order block, and then we shifted above it. And then we worked back into this small volume imbalance. Once we got above it, boom, wicked off for that twice, and now we're trading higher. So this inverse volume imbalance. See the sloppiness of the 5-minute time frame? Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh well, along this right here, along this order block right here, this down close candle. Yeah, it could play out. It could shift into new highs right now. Yeah, but I'm sticking to my rules. I don't care about missing a little move prior to the news. Alright, so I'm just going to stay on ES here now. And then I'm going to pull up NASDAQ on my other screen here. Seven more minutes and I will place more significance on the stuff I'm seeing in the charts. Alright, so we just traded up to this rejection block up here. So, took out the body here. Traded up to the body. Left the wick intact. What's up, Colt? So you say on ES, with 1 hour, the two up close candles from 10 a.m. 11 a.m. yesterday are an order block. Let me see. Yep, these two up close candles are an order block. Yes, sir. So, I hate using this terminology, but in a downtrend, all of the up close candles here before, this significant drop here that left this huge imbalance, automatically that whatever consecutive up close candles are, that would be classified as one order block. So take the midpoint of this. So basically we would want some type of closure at least around the midpoint. We wouldn't want to see it get the whole way up here, which it definitely could. Definitely isn't, if you're feeling a little bit stumped here, like this definitely isn't the easiest morning here to read. We already had a eventful London session, so we traded the whole way down here, and most of the up move already took place in that 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock hour. So we might be here for a while. Yes, sir. No problem. Almost 50 viewers here and not even 20 likes. Let's run that like button up for me, please. I would appreciate that. Alright, so we just took out the clean bodies here. NQ trading up as well off of this order block. Four more minutes until the 10 o'clock news. I'm rechecking the economic calendar just to make sure I was correct. Okay, yeah. Keep in mind it also is Friday the 13th, so might also make it a trickier day. Okay, that was weird. So I'm interested to see what type of expansion we get this 10 o'clock news release here. And as of now, it kind of looks like it just wants to keep grinding up higher, honestly. So we are in a deeper premium, right in that sweet spot, 72 or 79 to 62% retracement level. So the sweet spot would basically be right here, right at the midpoint between these two retracement levels. We almost got to that, so technically we're in that sweet spot. And then we have the high end of this 5-minute gap here. Oh, I messed up the line there. There we go. Make that black. All right, one more minute. Now, once again, we do have sell side stacked up below these lows here, so that's what I'm kind of looking at right now. Same with NQ. All right, there's that 10 o'clock news release. Gravitating towards these lows as expected. There we go. There's that sell side swept, and here's this inefficiency delivered. Was calling for everything in one direction. I didn't call for anything to the upside. Everything I called for was right here. I just always reiterate that because it's just funny when I watch other streams. They'll call both sides in the market. And when one side hits, like, oh, see, look, I was right. Well, yeah, no shit, you were right. You were going to be right either way because you called both sides in the market. Alright, so I want to see what we do now that we cleared this sell side liquidity out here. So this 930 low, we returned back below it as well. And I believe it did dip into that volume imbalance. Yep. See how it dips right down into the sell side and into the volume imbalance right there and immediately wicks off. Yeah, look at NASDAQ though. Definitely nothing I'd want to be trading into. Or, yeah. Traded to that lower 15-minute gap there. Got to about 62% retracement. But yeah, just keep the 5-minute time frame in mind and remind yourself that this is, if the 5-minute time frame looks like that, you shouldn't be trading. So but yeah, if this ends up just being a completely low probability day with minimal room for high probability profitability, I wouldn't be surprised because it's already been an eventful week. It's Friday. We already retraced back into the daily or the weekly range here on Thursday. Relatively large range pre-market. Not very large, but we had a good deal of movement in London and then pre-market. So yeah, anyone trying to trade this opening range here, they most likely got taken out. We had a 3 drives higher here. So buy side taken here, buy side taken there, failure swing. And then we displayed slower at that 10 a.m. news. And then we had this mitigation block here, extend that out. And then keep in mind that inverse volume imbalance. Didn't forget about you. Alright. It's one of the hardest things to do in the chart, to extend our small little boxes. There we go. So we wicked up into that twice and wicked off. So now I just want to see what we do now. Do we respect the midpoint of this up close candle, or do we displace higher? So I would say ES is would be definitely more ideal to be trading here. Nothing high probability jumping out to me on either yet, but that's why you have to wait, right? So unless we displace aggressively to the upside here now that we cleared sell side, I want to see if we can maybe at least get to equilibrium down here. Small little volume bounce within one of those 15-minute gaps to the downside. So I'll be continuously tape rating here, letting you guys know if I find a high probability setup here throughout this 10 o'clock hour. 11 o'clock is going to be the cutoff here. Typically, I'll say, you know, like after 11 p.m., I'm done. Like, I'm not looking for any more setups. Because usually 11 to 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. isn't usually too precise and not really a time where you want to be trading anyway. But on Fridays especially, so when I say that rule, I'll break it sometimes because I'll see high probability setups within 11 o'clock or that lunch macro. But on Fridays, absolutely 11 a.m., maybe 10 minutes past it, that's the cutoff for me. Alright, so we just shifted into a new low, keying off of this up close candle here, so that's what I wanted to see. Notice how we got below this 50-minute gap and worked within the inside of it and then traded off, and then we opened on this candle here, boom, hit the low of it, trade off. Where'd you go? Yes, there you are. So it would be ideal to get some type of 5-minute entry here with the current conditions we have. Typically, whenever I'm not too confident with the... Ooh, is outside my house right now? Anyways, what was I saying? When it's choppy conditions, relatively choppy, I typically try to veer away from the 1-minute time frame entries and get like a 5-minute retracement. So let me take away that volume imbalance. So basically, maybe we can get a retracement into this 5-minute gap. And it could be like an optimal trade entry type of scenario. If the right signatures play out, remember. Could act as a breakaway gap though, however. We check the Dow. Remember, we traded into a very deeper premium on the Dow. Traded up to this high end of this inefficiency. The hourly as well. So it looks like we're entering a sell program here. And it'll leave that 5 minute gap as a breakaway gap. So these up close candles. Boom, trading to that. Alright, boom. Those 2 up close candles, I'm going to go ahead and short those. It bumps up into it. Maybe not. So buy stop's going right above the up close candles here. Now, if I don't get some type of immediate reaction here, I'm just going to go ahead and close up the trade. And wait for a 5 minute entry, which I said I would prefer, right? And then, let me see here. Buy limit is going to go right at this 1 minute volume imbalance. So that volume imbalance just so happens to be the midpoint of this 15 minute imbalance here. Just so happens. So the narrative on this 1 minute sell here was I'm selling these 2 up close candles here, right here. Selling those. Because in a sell program, all up close candles, unless there's a needed stop rate, which there wasn't because we already had 3 drives up here. All up close candles will be respected, treated as resistance. And then this gap up here, kind of within this opening range here, so you can expect that to act as a breakaway gap with proper context that I outlined. And you're like, you're probably like, what the fuck? This guy's supposed to be I'm supposed to be taking advice from a guy who's going for 6 handles here? Well, let me tell you something. Small little consistent trades like this has made me a lot of fucking money. So, and I've also lost a lot of money before I was able to do that. So don't get misled there. Yeah, so I don't like how ES already got down there. Or not ES, NQ already got down there. And then we had this kind of choppy situation going on here in NQ. Just traded up in that small little gap there. Now, if I got some type of high probability 5 minute entry, I would probably be going for at least 10 handles down here, but had to settle with the 1 minute. So I'm going for the lowest hanging fruit possible on a Friday. No need to give my profits from this week back. Doing something stupid, trying to do too much, whatever else. Okay, so I could have sworn I didn't sell this low Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I sold somewhere closer to these up close candles here. I don't know why I just now looked at that, but I was like, wait, I don't really look right. The classic. Get very close to my sell limit and then wick off immediately. Classic, classic. So we got to that discount, but not to my buy limit. See if we can get down there. Come on. I know you want to. Come to daddy. Come on. So this here also, if you like to add unnecessary risk on Fridays, you could have pyramided in this small little gap here with the low end of the 15-minute gap, which I wouldn't advise that in these conditions. Come on, yes. I'm not asking for too much. All right, so watch this up close candle here. If it trades above the up close candle, then I'm gonna close the trade. But other than that, I'm letting everything ride. Not that I have much to ride here, but money is money. I don't know if it's just because I don't know if it's just when I'm streaming or what it is, but I feel like this happens more times than it should. Like, this is definitely at least the fifth or sixth time this has happened within my live streams where we get like literally within a quarter tick of my buy limit and it wicks off and then it just like, plays around a little bit. And I've had times where I was, pretty big trades, like 20 handle trades I was going for, and it missed it by just a quarter tick and then came the whole way back up, stopped me out of break even. Let me see what NQ is doing. Yeah, just consolidating. So yeah, I don't like the order flow I'm in right now. If we trade above the opening here, tragic. Would you look at that? Alright, yeah, so I'm going to look to close the trade here. Because there's no real reason for us to be retracing up here anyway. Other than, wake up into this initial 10 o'clock a.m. Down close candle. All right, so boom. So look where we're at here. Trade down to this volume imbalance, right? And the lowest down close candle. So I wouldn't want any type of respect, not even in the slightest. So boom, automatically buy stop goes down because we trade the whole way back up here. We don't want to be in the marketplace anyways. We want to be in low resistance type of environments. We don't want to be in high resistance, choppy environments. So buy stop is going above this 15-minute inefficiency here. See, we already bumped up into it and respected it. All right, so NQ continued lower. So just because I saw that, I'll hold on to it. All right, see how we wicked up on these up close candles and closed within this inefficiency? Don't want to see that. So I want to close this trade, but I don't. Just because it's not the most ideal setup. I mean, like, it was a good entry on these up close candles. I didn't get filled till down here for some reason, but it's another story. What trade of 8? So you're probably being like, why is this guy being so nimble? Why is why is he, it's just because it's a Friday and it's just not ideal conditions, and technically I already hit all of my profit targets for the week. So really no real reason for me to be trading today, but I wanted to put just a little something on for you guys. At least. But yeah, I like how we respected the high end of this 15-minute inefficiency. Boom, wicked off instantly. Reaccumulated. If we're in a sell program, once it trades up here, it'll trade up here to these up close candles and reaccumulate sell orders. And then also midpoint of this wick. Traded up to midpoint of the wick. So wicks we use as gaps, the midpoint. And then you can use it inversely. The midpoint, you use that inversely and you extend that out, right? And you can see the precision on there. Obviously, that's, obviously that was hindsight. Okay, there's that. Obviously, that was hindsight. You could say cherry picked with this wick here, but the reason why I was referencing this wick was because it was right at that 10 o'clock news candle, the 1 minute candle, and then it left this wick here. Boom. Extend it out once we get below it. And there you go. All right, so obviously there's a good chance that I'm going to be missing out on a much larger down move. But for now, I see that we're trading into this discount. See, right where I got filled was the discount inefficiency. And then we had this inverse inefficiency, extend that out. And then remember the 1 minute volume imbalance. It's also the 62% retracement level. So I know here's the all right, here's the thing. So there's two different things that this market can do. It can either go higher or go lower. I'm favoring the downside, yes. But if you want to get very high probability scalps, and I cover this in my high probability scalping series, I have about like 3 videos. It's a playlist. If we were going up, it was likely that we were going to return to equilibrium here in these discounted rates and then go up if we were going to do that. And on the flip side, if we were going to go down, it would play into this 3 drives pattern here and then just go lower from there. So that's whenever you get the high probability scalps, because no matter what the bias is, you don't have to be correct about it, because if it's going to go up, it's going to go down here and clear out the sell side, and trade to some type of discount first. So I'm scalping to the downside there, and then I'm out of the marketplace. It doesn't matter if it goes higher. I could have been wrong. I said I was favoring the downside today, but it doesn't matter. I already made my money, right? See how that works? And then obviously I already said on the flip side, we cleared the London session buy side. We were already priced into a premium. The highest inefficiency here, this black line. We're essentially in that sweet spot, remember, between the 79 and 60% retracement level. And then for the fifth time, we have this 3 drives pattern here, and then displacement below this low. So boom, that wraps everything up. Not the stream, just the trade. No problem, Henry. Go ahead and run up that like button for me. Alright, so let's see where NQ's at. So we just reached this 15-minute order block on NQ. If it's gonna go lower, if it trades below this order block, that's like 100% confirmed that we're gonna go ahead and attack these clean lows here, and potentially, probably too much to ask, but get down to here in this area. But yeah, just look at the choppiness, sloppiness here. Definitely don't want to be trading NQ right now. So in these conditions, I'm more than content with 6 handles here. So off these up close candles here in the high end of this 15-minute gap, targeting this discount one here. So even though it's not the ideal conditions, I do think it is going to continue lower. That's what I'm thinking. And potentially knock out this low here. Could be wrong though. Once again, doesn't matter if I'm wrong or not, because, yeah. So basically, all you really need to do is see how we act now that we're in this discounter right here. Do we make some type of significant low and displace higher? Or do we displace lower again, get below it, trade back up into it, treat it as resistance? That's when you want to be going short, and then aim for the lows down here. But anything other than that, yeah, no. So I'm gonna continue tape reading here. There's not much to commentate on so far, but I'm gonna continue commentating until 11 p.m. Or did I say p.m.? 11 a.m. Yeah, 11 a.m. Not gonna be here the entire day. Alright, so we just created a swing low here in the 5-minute time frame. And then we had this, keep in mind we had this 15-minute gap up here, and then these two up close candles will be the order block. So if it really wants to get animated to the downside, it'll respect this wick here, and then this inverse 15-minute gap, and then leave this open. But there's always a chance that it'll trade up into here. Then NQ, same thing. Extend that out. Keying off of this 15-minute order block. Right here, we just created an intermittent term low with that order block, and then this 1-minute order block. Lots of order blocks. Shifted above that. Respected the low end. Watch this breaker right here, this up close candle. Low, high, lower, low. Just wick down into that. Intermittent term low here formed at the discount. And yeah, we just wicked up into that 15-minute gap. Very reasonable. Alright, so now that we created this intermittent term low, watch this inefficiency here. Alright, so I don't think NQ wants this small little gap here, which is reasonable. So we traded lower, offering sell side, traded higher, offering buy side, and then we traded back through it again, and then left it. So it doesn't have to trade up in here, but once again, there is always a chance that it will. Alright, so ES instantly trading off. Have that inefficiency. watch this up close candle here with the small little volume imbalance. Watch this inversely. Yeah, NQ looking ugly. Small little gap in here. So we got that retracement into that 15-minute gap. Now I want to see if we can continue the sell program. All right, so back to the charts. 15-minute fair value gap delivered. And I want to see a shift below these lows here. And then some type of retracement back into that. So maybe like this breaker or something. And then we'll continue lower towards these lows. So that's what I'd be anticipating. So yeah, like I've been saying the entire morning, I was ready to be wrong, but since the very beginning of the stream, I was favoring the downside, and I caught a scalp to the downside, which is it's more than enough for me, but I'm still here. So boom, just swept that sell side there. So for those that were thinking that we were creating a significant low and buying that, they'll have their stops below here, and boom, they were just taken out. NASDAQ following suit. Remember that inverse gap I told you about? Boom. So now you wanna see it dig through this down close candle now. So this wicking sensation here, that's not what we would want to see for a sell program. You want to see it really just get through this down close candle with speed. So this swing high within this initial price leg, that was taken out, so that would be buy side above that. Boom. Then we just completely shifted below this 5-minute order block here, this up close candle. And let me see if NQ, yep. So watch this. Do we get below it and then treat it as resistance? I think so. See what Dow's doing. All right, Dow almost confirming that low. Still has unfinished business on Dow to get below these clean lows here at the 9:30 opening. Wrong way. All right, we got 45 watching, 36 likes. Can we get at least 40 likes by 11 a.m., which is when I'm ending the stream? Appreciate it. All right, so remember that breaker I said? Watch that. And now that I'm thinking about it, watch this down close candle, not this one, because this has more bulk to it. So extend that out. And then there's a 2-minute fair value gap right there. So I'm not going to use the wick, but I'm going to use the high and the body. So you would not, this blue shaded area, you would not want to see it trade above that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like getting Q. That's for sure. My screen's freezing up here. Nice. Okay, that was weird. So what did I say? I said for the downside, once we swap this sell side lows, you want to see it rush through this order block here, and we didn't get that. We actually got some pretty significant respect to that. We completely wicked off and closed above it. So yeah, Dow not wanting to take out that low there, while the other two did. Alright, so boom, traded up into that breaker. Oh, went off of it a little bit. There we go. So if you shorted the breaker, you would go short right here, 4386, 50, and then stop would be above this up close candle right here. And then now that we just shifted into a new low, your stop would be above the breaker high. or just midpoint of this order block here on the 5-minute time frame. Very tricky market here though, so I still think that this is a likely draw down here, but I've seen in past Fridays, and it will do it again. Maybe not this Friday, but another Friday it will. Just kind of just stays range bound, and the New York session doesn't really break any significant highs or lows. But once again, I still think this is a high probability draw here. So look, digging through that down close candle now. After we wicked up off of. So let's see where we're at. 4387. So that's already 5 handles. I mean, obviously my trade was only 6 handles, so you can take your profit at 6 handles too. Why not? Eight, 7. So that's about 6 handles now. So you could take a partial here, and then you could hold a runner on for down here. That would be the ideal scenario if you were pushing multiple contracts. GSM, what is CL? I don't know what CL is. So once again, shorting the breaker, and then you could, I would say, take a partial right around here, and then hold a runner on for these lows. Notice all my everything I called for was to the downside, even before, or yeah, when we were trading like up here or whatever. I don't know the exact price point, but somewhere around this consolidation, the only thing I was calling for was lower prices. I just said it's Friday after an eventful week. We already retraced into the range on Thursday, and I pretty much already hit my profit objectives, so there's no real need for me to come in here looking for significant gains. But with that being said, everything played out the way I wanted it to. I was ready to be wrong. I've been wrong many times before. I'll be wrong again. If you're in my inner circle with the signals and whatnot, you know that I'm. They'll tell you. They know for sure that I'm definitely, with experience, I'm right more times than I'm wrong with these markets, but nothing's 100%. All right, so 4387. So that's almost 10 handles now, or that is 10 handles. Sorry, it's about 11 handles actually. So once again, you could take a partial here and then leave a runner on for down here, or even take a partial, roll your stops to break even, and leave a runner on for previous day's low here at the Thursday low. So if you're pushing 3 contracts, you'd be taking a partial here, leaving a runner on here, and then leave the last runner on here. That's how you would manage your risk in a trade like this. So there we go. Like I said, what did I say after I got filled here at the 6-handle trade I took? What did I say? I said, you guys can rewind it. I said there's definitely a very high probability, or not high probability, there's definitely a very high chance that I'm going to be missing out on a much larger down move here. But I don't care. I was taking my guaranteed profits. So boom, we just displaced below that down close candle. Now immediately my eye will jump to previous day's low. So that's where your runner will be left on at. And then boom, NASDAQ already took that out. So if you just followed everything I said for ES and you just applied it to NASDAQ, that would be that. So, and then real time I said watch this inverse for VGAP. We're trading back up into that after we swept this high. So that could have been a short there. Stop would immediately go above this up close candle. And then you'd be out at the lows here. And then NQ, since we got this aggressiveness, I want to see it trade down into this gray shade, gray, black, whatever, this gray area here. I noticed I had this outlined in the beginning of the stream. I didn't just now put this here just because we got aggressive displacement. That's a nice little thing that these other streamers like to do. So ES is the whatever you want to call it, stick sister. You want to see it catch up and trade below these lows. So if you took my advice, you'd be taking a partial already. Your stops be at break even, so you wouldn't even care if it went to your runner or not. But your runner would be at previous day's low down here, or just here. Ross, you said I thought I'd join that. I get the Discord, but there aren't any spaces in it. Can you please elaborate? I'm not sure I'm following what you're saying. It does say you're in the inner circle. If you're not in the Discord though, I'm gonna go ahead and post the link in the inner circle private community tab here on YouTube. I'll go ahead and do that for you now while I'm waiting for price to trade to my target down here. Alright, boom, Ross. So I just posted in the private inner circle community tab here on YouTube. I just posted the Discord link for you. So just go ahead over to my community tab and it should show up for you. The Discord signal service invite. Alright, so I did say I'm going to end the stream at 11 a.m. I made a little over $300 this morning. This isn't demo, so I mean, if a $300 day isn't good enough for you, I don't know what is. So it's good enough for me. But anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm just gonna stay here until my targets are fulfilled here. I want to see if NQ, yeah, NQ is gravitating towards that tan-shaded area. This to me would be right down somewhere in this area. I'm anticipating this to be the low of the day, somewhere down in this vicinity. So there's lots of sell side stacked up below these clean lows here. And then we also have this new week opening gap here. So, and then ES already technically did trade to it, but this is still going to be a draw on liquidity down here because previous day is a low and the remaining report portion of this inefficiency. $300 a day keeps the office Carls and Karens at bay. I love that. Yeah, very slow delivery at first. I would say this breaker entry, that was the only very high probability entry, along with my up close candle entry. Your stop would just remain above this up close candle, obviously. But this was the highest probability entry right here, the breaker that I outlined real time. We got below the inefficiency and traded up above the midpoint, but that's all right. We just need to see it get below it and then respect it once it gets below that. So you see that wicks up in the midpoint, trades off. So boom, honestly, it doesn't even need to trade the previous day's low. I mean, 4387. Yeah, I mean 18 handles on a Friday. On a Friday the 13th, especially. It's pretty good in my eyes. So internal sell side was swept here. Now there is a chance that my terminus targets will not be traded to until either the lunch macro or the PM session. If we kind of just slow down here. Every time we sweep sell side liquidity like this, so like when we got below here, there's always a chance, high chance that we're gonna see some type of retracement. So like into this large 5-minute gap here. See that? And then same with ES. I want to see if it can trace into this 5-minute gap. And then this small little blue shaded area here, that's just a tiny daily fair value gap that I have outlined. Alright guys, so it is 11 a.m. I said I'm going to end the stream at 11 a.m. Setup was outlined to you real time, ahead of time. I was calling for lower prices right at the 9:30 opening, so nothing was like hindsight here. I caught 6 handles for myself, so about a little over $300. Honestly, I'm very content with that. And yeah, it was a good morning. So just remember, keep previous days low in mind. And then for NQ, keep this in mind here. I want to see it trade down into here. And there, we may see retracements before we get to that. So that could be like an entry for you to get short. Be cautious though. So yeah, enjoy your weekend. My live streaming schedule will be posted Sunday evening for next week. And for my inner circle members, I will have a private pre-market analysis posted Sunday evening as well. And yeah, I think we covered everything here. Oh shit, okay, Duke just sent me my first ever super chat. Appreciate that, brother. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate your appreciation. There you go. So yeah, have a good weekend, guys. I already said everything that will be posted Sunday evening, so I'm gonna go ahead and close up shop here, and see you guys then.